Hail brothers and sisters, my name is Captain Meatshield and welcome back to Satisfactory, where the man has finished looking at the quartz.
This type of quartz possesses optimal piezoelectric properties and can be utilized to create oscillators and silicon, which are used in a variety of appliances. A new milestone has been added to Tier 4. Additional research required.
I see. Right, what additional research is that? That would be a crystal oscillator, which is something we can make out of the raw quartz. Well, we have to process the quartz first, but we need, yes, the Explorer. So this will get us access to the map, quartz crystal, crystal oscillators, the Explorer, which is a little bit of a buggy sort of thing, and a scanner update to include raw quartz. So I'm going to set that as our new milestone, and we're going to plug in all of the stuff that we need. I need to go and grab some rotors. Do I not have any lying around? Do I have some in here? No. And then I also need to go about making myself some beacons. So I can make more than enough, so we'll just quickly do that. Begone, dear pod buddy.
Exploration-based technology unlocked. Quartz-based parts accessible, along with a map of your Fixit-approved designated zone in need of charting. The new vehicle is aimed at efficient travel speed and all-terrain handling.
Yeah, so the Explorer is a new little buggy. It's an awesome looking little thing. I haven't actually had a chance to test this out yet. I haven't made it in any games just yet. But we are missing the heavy modular frames, crystal oscillators, and then we need more beacons to be able to make it. But it's got the same kind of inventory space as the tractor. It can use any fuel type, but it's also got another built-in craft bench. So it's got the same sort of utility as the tractor, but it's a lot more kind of speedy and nimble, I reckon. At least that's what I'm assuming. I mean, you know, Tractor's off on his way, having a fun time as always. But we do now have access to the map, so we can see what we've already uncovered. Which is, you know, a fairly sizable amount. We got our coal power generator down there. The hub and the space elevator are down here. That's the pod with the gas mask. How is that not uncovered? Because we've been over there. Or did I went over there before the game update, I think. So that's probably why I can't see over there. That's where the geyser is. There were the 4 iron nodes that I found. There's the pod that needs 4 rubber, and there's oil 1. That's a fair track away. You know, 2 kilometers away, really. But what I'm thinking of doing today, while the base is just kind of going about doing things, you might notice there's a little bit of a difference over here. I tore up most of the copper. A lot of it is all kind of done. We've still got a lot of the kind of cable and some storage for wire down there. But what I want to do is I want to tile all of the platform, you know, tile all of our foundation over this way, over to this little copper deposit that we have been working with. And I want to set up all of my copper production over here, because this is a normal node. We can get a decent amount out of it. There's a thing poking out the ground. It looks like a giant middle finger. What are you? Fucking limestone, of course. Yeah, I would like to try and go and find that sulfur that I was so eagerly looking for in the last episode. Ooh, hello, what could you be? Could you be something that I really want right now? You're more fucking bauxite. I mean, it's good to prepare. It's good to have this stuff for when it actually gets introduced into the main game. But still. Fucking bauxite. Ugh. Why can't you be sulfur? But yeah, I'm going to go and grab myself some concrete so that we can get paving. We can start setting things back up over here. I'm also going to make myself another portable miner so I can set up a Mark II drill on top of everything. Okay, miner Mark II. In place. Boom. So your base output is 120 per minute. What's that going to be like if I fully overclock you? There's no real need for me to do this. I'm going to put it on standby, I think, just because I want to test how this whole thing is going to work. Can I reach? Ow! Oh god, I really need a heal. Berries. Nom 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 nom. Yeah, is this going to connect? Wire is too long. Of course it bloody is. Okay. 300 copper ore per minute from that. So what I want to do with that information is I want to set up a copper smelting array that is going to support that output. And I've got a fun new way of going about setting things up. So I want to try and get things all set up for that. So right, 300 a minute is going to support 10 smelters. So I got to figure out how I want to lay those out, and also where I want to put everything. But what I want to do is I want to set this up so that we've got like a multi-floor kind of thing, mostly just for the kind of initial inputs and outputs and all that kind of stuff. But I really like the way that this whole thing works. This is something that I kind of... an idea I'd like to say that I borrowed from a YouTuber called Total Eclipse, I think. It's something that was shared onto the Factorio community group, and I thought it was a genius way of working with things. But it uses like the conveyor list to kind of keep things out of the way. I've slightly adapted it for my own purposes, and I really want to, start having this be the kind of norm, for the rest of the factory as things go forward. So it's going to take a little bit of work just to get things in place, but once it's all set up, it should be easy to, potentially expand further down the line, and to, kind of just work with. I want to actually move where these things are. So what we want to do is we want to build these smelters. You're now in the wrong place. I want to build them with their inputs, with their butts right up against the edge of this. And go like that. And then what's going to happen is we're going to take conveyor lifts, and they are going to just sit like this, because that's going to be at the exact right height for that belt there. And we're gonna branch off this little crawl space under here. I say crawl space, I can fucking jump in here. But this little space here is going to be where we will bring all of the resources, all of the raw copper ore. We'll be moving in underneath all of this platform. I hope that is going to be in... Actually, no, that doesn't want to go there, does it? No, that's going to be where I want the splitters for the rest of this stuff. So I need to put like a belt just going across here, just so I can put the splitter in place for the lifts. But there we go. We can get rid of that belt, because that's the wrong speed, and it's also in the wrong kind of layout. But this is going to be how we'll set things up. So we'll have this as kind of like a maintenance area. We can get down here, we can get into upgrade everything. We're going to bring another conveyor pole stacker to this point, I want to say. Yeah. And we need to now put a splitter in there, I think. But I mean, the lifts and like the inputs, like via the splitters, these won't need to be upgraded. But the conveyor belts that are bringing everything else in probably will be, just because we'll eventually want to improve the throughput as we get better and better resource or better and better logistical technologies. But that should work fine there. We can just put a Mark 1 belt going into this, which will then split 30 off that side, 30 off that side. And then we'll get another set going down this way. And I'm probably going to need more concrete. And we can just chop the end off that. And we've got this thing set up. I can't get up that side. Let's come up here. Ugh. But there we go. That gets input sorted for 4 smelters already. So a Mark II belt will quite easily supply these. Absolutely no problem whatsoever. And this will be where we start the next lot. But I want to put, you know, a little bit of a platform edge around this side. Oh, that splitter is going to have to move, or I'm going to have to tear it down and rebuild it. Because, of course, we can build splitters into things, but we can't build things into splitters. I'm just going to tear that splitter out. Doesn't affect this belt at all, which is good, so we'll just tear that out as well. We'll put in all of the important roof stuff. And then over this side, we need to bring things out a bit this way. Now, I don't think I'm going to set up an extra line for just 2 more smelters. We could support them because of the... Actually, no, we couldn't even support them at the moment because we don't have the throughput for the belts. Because while we can overclock this thing to produce 300 per minute, we can only transport 270. So, yeah, there's no need to get massively ahead of ourselves with all of that just yet. But what we do need to do is get these smelters in line. And I think this stuff is pretty much set up. I just want to tidy the place up with a little bit of decorative stuff. So I'm going to be busy putting down some walkways just to kind of fill in these gaps. Kind of, you know, give us sort of like, you know, a good look at the innards. But ultimately, you know, it's just kind of mostly to stop myself falling down the holes. Yeah. Just realised I think that needs to move so that we can actually get a conveyor lift down here. So I'm going to put a conveyor pole just in here. And then we're going to build ourselves a Mark III conveyor. And I hope that I can get a lift down here. Connect there. I need to get this at the right level for... There we go. And Mark III belt into that splitter, and then we'll upgrade the belt down here all the way along to Mark III. But anything that is going off towards the smelters needs to be Mark II, then down to a Mark I, just to maintain the throughput balance. But I think... Oh, I gotta hope that... Yeah, I did make that a Mark III lift, good. Not completely useless. Yet. And we connect all of this stuff up to a connected network for power. And I don't quite know where we're going to stick anything else, but we'll just kind of plug you up over there for now. Now all of these things need their recipes, and we need to sort out an output for them. So at the moment we've got enough output for 240, I think. 240 copper ingots. The amount of stuff we're going to be able to make with those is going to be ridiculous. But what I might do will be merge them all onto one belt and then drop them back down into this under space. I was thinking of just kind of like drawing them out elsewhere, but I think if we pull them out down here, that could work rather nicely. So I might do that. So let's get a load of mergers in place. Okay, how am I going to get you? Get you there? Will that work? Kind of awkward with the... There we go. If I look at it top down, then it works. for some reason. And then conveyor lift Mark 3, just to bring you down a level. We can send you off that way. If that is indeed where we want to send you. Who knows at this point? We can get a bit more of a walkway across here just to kind of close off the gaps so that we don't consistently fall down. We can build walkways like straight onto the foundations as well, which is, you know, can lead to you like maybe making some fun designs with the flooring. Sometimes it does get a little more difficult to actually connect when you're trying to place it on foundations. It will connect eventually. I've just got to find that sweet spot. Oh, thought I had it. I can get it to connect pretty much anywhere else, but it won't connect to this thing. Here we go, I'll do it around this way. Oh, wait a minute. Now I can't dismantle the fucking walkway. Right, what if I build the walkway first? Can I put the foundation underneath it? Yeah, I could just do it that way. That makes it a bit easier. There we go, now I don't have to worry about falling in. Makes things a bit easier. Okay, so all of this should now be ready to go. We just need to power on the miner. So, away you go, mate. You can actually get to work now. And how's the power doing? Power's still fine. So, nice hearty output of copper ore, please. Yeah, there we go. Down the lift. Yes. Where it gets very sharply bumped down to a speed of, well, that lot's still going to be going at 270 a minute, even though it's not got full throughput. But yeah, this lot goes down to 120, splits out to 60, and gets all of the smelters running. And I really just like the way this whole design has turned out. I think it looks fantastic. I mean, it's not, you know, it's, in some ways it's a space saver, you know, in the fact that we don't have, like, ridiculous numbers of belts all up behind the machines. It is a space saver. Down here, kind of feels like space might be wasted a bit, but I honestly don't mind, because that is, you know, the kind of the core point of Satisfactory is more building vertically and playing around with that sort of stuff, and, you know, going from, you know, the coal generators all the way over there, to start including some verticality over here is really nice. But now I need to figure out how I want to lay out constructors and everything, because we need to turn all of these copper ingots into things now. We need to turn it all into wire and cable and get that production up and running again. So I suppose just to start with, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to put down a couple of constructors, just so I can, like, reacclimatise myself to the numbers that I'm going to be working with. So copper wire requires 15 per minute. Yeah, each smelter can support 2. So we are currently able to support 16 machines making copper wire. There's going to be a lot of constructors. And then it was 2 wire constructors to 3 cables, if I remember that right. So we've got a lot of potential here for what we can work with, and we've still got, like, you know, the potential of, like, running over even more, just because of you know, not having quite not quite maxing out the output of the miner itself, and the fact that this whole thing will probably get expanded upon at some point eventually. Although I really don't think there's going to be a need to expand this any further once it's all done. I really think that this setup is probably going to be more than enough. It looks really nice from up here as well. I like building things, it's great. Oh god, fuck, don't fall off. Now fall off. There we go. So what I might do, split this belt off into two. We'll split it out into 2 belts of 120, so 2 Mark II belts, and we'll have 2 banks of 2 banks of 8 constructors that will be turning the copper ingots into wire, and then we'll send some of them off to go and produce wire cable. I'll get my words right eventually, you shush. I've got a lot of stuff to think about with this. What I want to do is I want to start out by building this foundation out a decent amount, so I can get an idea of what 8 constructors along is going to look like, and if it's going to start encroaching on any of the things like this big bastard. Right, that should do. Ooh. What are you? Are you sulfur? Please be sulfur. More fucking quartz. But yeah, that should be a big enough platform for what I want to do. I should have enough resources to be able to build, or at the very least lay out 16 constructors, just to see how much space that's going to take up. And then I've got to build, I'm going to be building essentially a similar setup to this with the constructors. In fact, I probably want to build another lookout tower. More up on this platform, but also kind of closer to where I'm wanting to work. So we'll put one here instead. So if I were to split the belts from here, maybe move things over this way. Yeah, I think this could just about work. I mean, there's going to be a huge amount of space in the middle. I mean, what I could do would be bring everything in one tile, but that means things are going to be very cramped down the middle. I mean, it could work. I don't think there'd be any chance of me actually having, any kind of space to work in between any of the constructors, because these are much larger structures width-wise. I tell you what, yeah, we'll pull them back. My only concern here is going to be making sure that the belts are going to all fit. So we'd have things like that. We'd take that out there. So how would I need to work the belts underground? So we'll say we need a splitter here that immediately needs to split again. Yeah, this is going to be a bit snug. Unless... okay. Let me get back up. Oh, I can't get up out that way, can I? No. How do I get up? Taking away all of my jump platforms. I haven't got jump platforms. I don't know what I'm talking about. Never mind. Alright, so this is going to be like the full dimensions of it. I haven't filled out everything in the middle. But I'm going to need to lay out foundation. It might get a little tricky with one end of this. Just because over this side, the floor starts to slope upwards. But I should be able to manage all of the belts well enough. It's just figuring out how I want to sort the belts out underneath all of this. But I have a feeling that may have to wait until the next episode. I'm afraid I'm all out of time for this one. But this is certainly some good progress, and I'm really liking that I'm already getting to implement this new kind of layout design, and to really kind of make the place look nicer and tidy. Yeah, from up here, I think this whole thing looks absolutely stunning. I really like the look of it. Especially with the default color scheme, I think it looks great for like a copper setup. When I get around to doing like something more permanent with like things like the iron and that kind of stuff, then I'll probably go about you know, color coding the different smelters and different production lines and all that kind of stuff, just because I think that could be quite fun. Now there's another part of me that is tempted to put this all horizontal going over this way. Oh, what am I going to do? Do I want to flip this? Because it's like 4 deep by 1, 2, 3. It's going to be 9 wide by 4 deep. So, I don't know if it would be better going this way, or if I were to flip it and go horizontal. But I do need to figure out what I'm going to be doing with the belts. So I'll think on some ideas of how I want to finish this setup, and we'll tackle it in the next episode. But overall, I'm really pleased with where things are going with this. We will obviously have to get back out to the oil deposits to go and start claiming some oil, and potentially going and looking for some quartz as well. Seeing as they're kind of off in the same kind of direction, we could maybe tackle, you know, 2 birds with 1 stone. But we'll just have to see how things play out as we get back out into the world. I'm also going to leave a link down in the description below over to Total Eclipse's video on this new kind of, you know, bus build using the elevators, because I don't want to take all the credit for it. It was, you know, I got the idea from him. So I'll be linking the video that I watched down in the description below, so you guys can go and check his stuff out. I think he's going to be doing some more tutorials on different kind of bus builds and how to set up various different production lines and factories and stuff. So, you know, go show him some love. But other than that, I'm going to wrap this video up here and just say thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, check out the playlist on the channel for more Let's Plays on Metal Covers, and give this video a like or a comment just to leave your thoughts. And if you wish to join the ever-growing ranks of the Order of the Shield, subscribe on YouTube, chuck me a follow over on Twitch, or maybe even consider checking out my Patreon and becoming an officer within the ranks. But thank you again for watching this video, and I will catch you all very, very soon. This is Captain Meatshield, signing off. You don't need to be... Yeah, don't use it... Did they teach you nothing in SWAT? You don't try to bite... You don't break the door open with your shoulder. You're only going to hurt yourself.